students, Mr. Melber here. We're going to go over a few more hand tools for our hand tool unit. We're going to start with the C-clamp. First, we're going to start with safety. You see I got my safety glasses on, my shirt's tucked in, I have short sleeves so there's nothing to get caught in the spinning spindle on the drill press. The first hand tool we're going to look at is a C-clamp. Obviously it's the shape of a C. Any clamp is to push things together, hold things together. And we got two C-clamps here holding our vise down on our drill press table. I'm just going to start our drill press, drill a hole. Going to wait for the drill to stop spinning so I can take the part out of the vise, our workpiece. There we go. I drilled another hole in it previously. We're going to walk over here. I'm going to use a file. This is a flat file. You can see we have quite a variety of files right here. That one's rounded on one side, that's round, that's square, triangular, a whole lot of options. So a file is used to cut metal. We'll deburr it. There's a little edge on this that hole, so we're just going to take that off. Shave the other side too. There we go. Next we're going to go through our hammers. This is our dead blow hammer. It's filled with sand or lead shot, and that's used to seat a part on parallels. So you want to hit the part but not bounce. So that's a dead blow hammer. This is a soft-faced hammer. This is so you don't mar the metal when you're forming it, when you're pounding it. You'll see that bounces. That's what the dead blow hammer is. And our last hammer is a ball peen hammer. It's got a ball at the one end, and it's used to shape metal. We're going to shape some metal. We're going to push a rivet through this hole. And we're going to peen it over. So we smush that metal down and peen it over. A rivet is a very special kind of fastener. They use tens of thousands of them to put airplanes together. And what happens when that rivet is placed in that hole and peened over, it fills that hole with material so there's no movement between them, and that's why they use them to put airplanes together. So we've done a few, I didn't tell you what this was. This was the bench vise. We use this to hold our workpiece. In the video with the angle grinder, you'll remember the gentleman cut his wrist because he said he held the part in his hand, he didn't use a bench vise. This is what a bench vise is. So we should clamp the part in there and use that to hold the part, and then you got two hands to hold your angle grinder. So we went through a bunch of tools so far. We'll step over here, go over a few more. This is our cell phone holder project. We have a few tools that we use for this. This is layout dye. It's just like a paint. You just brush it on there. And then you can let it dry. Just like a pick and show. We have one already ready. So we'll set our divider. This is going to use to scribe. You see we got the nice straight lines in there. So we're going to put another, we'll put a head on it. So I'm going to take this. I turn the thumb wheel to adjust it. I let it guide it along the edge of the metal. And we scribe our lines. Can adjust it again. And we do the same thing. And that's called a divider. And we use the layout die on the metal so that we can see the lines we're scribing in it with the divider. Our next step. That's what our part looks like when it's all scribed. See the lines on the metal match the lines on the print. I'm going to use this and clamp it into the bench vise. Again, that's used to hold the workpiece. I'm going to grab my file again. I'm just going to put the corner of the file. Again, a file is used to cut metal as well. Just put a little notch in there so I can use the hacksaw. The hacksaw is used to cut metal. It's got very fine teeth, and the teeth point away from the handle. So you're cutting, as you're pushing the saw. You want to make nice long strokes. So you're using the entire blade. There you go. Our next tool here is our vice grips, or adjustable locking pliers. And what you do with that, you can adjust it. This makes the jaws bigger or smaller. You wanted to grab around this. Right now it's too loose, so I'm going to open it up and adjust it, make it tighter. Make it a little tighter, so that when I squeeze, it'll kind of pop in and hold itself. And then I can use that to turn the screw. I'm going to open the vise, and I'm going to use my right hand rule. This is my right hand. My thumb points in the direction I want the vise to go, so I want it to open, so I want it to move this way. And my fingers will tell me which way to turn it. This works with all bolts and nuts that are right hand nuts and bolts, which is almost all of them. So I want to turn it this way. So I take my right hand, and that tells me to turn it that way to open it. I can take it out. Now if I want to close it, same right hand. I want the vise to go in. That tells me to turn it this way. So I turn it that way, and it closes the vise. That's your right hand rule. Very important. We're just going to go over a few more tools, a couple more hand tools. This is a spanner wrench. It's a pin type spanner wrench, and that's used to remove the disc. I'm holding this button to make sure it doesn't turn. And I can take this pin spanner wrench, put it in the two holes, and tighten it down. Another type of spanner wrench is a hook type. If I had notches in this ring, it would go into those notches, and I would use that to turn it. Loosen it and tighten it. So there's our spanner wrenches. Again, a pin type and a hook type. Our file. And our last couple. These are all wrenches. This is called an open end wrench because both ends are open. This is called a box wrench. It goes completely around the nut or bolt to turn it. And this is a combination of the two. It's a box on one end and an open end on the other. So it's a combination wrench. And these are both the same size. This happens to be 7/8. And one more thing I wanted to mention. Now you guys are going to look at the video for hand tools. You're going to do sockets and ratchets. This is a socket wrench or a ratchet. And this button is used to take the socket off. There's a little ball in there, so it's easy to take it on off. When it's on there, it's harder to remove. And the last part, you're ratcheting one way and tightening the other. This happens to be, it's tightening this way, so this would be turning the bolt down, tightening it. Click this over, and now it's turning the bolt the other way. So now it's loosening the bolt. My thumb says the bolt's coming up. So it's turning now, and now it's just clicking, slipping. And that's the beauty of a ratchet. So we'll go over our tools again quick. This is our bench vise. This will hold the workpiece. This is our hacksaw to cut metal. Our locking adjustable pliers. 2 sockets, socket wrenches or ratchets. Open end wrench, box wrench, combination wrench, file, pin spanner, hook spanner. Our layout die to put the die on the metal. Our divider to put the lines into the metal. Our file to remove burrs or cut the metal. And then our 3 hammers. Our ball peen hammer, which forms the metal. We happen to form a rivet and smush it over. A dead blow hammer. Doesn't bounce. That's for seating a part on parallels on a mill. And that's a soft-faced hammer, so you don't mar the metal. It does bounce. That's all. Thank you very much. Appreciate our cameraman, Mr. Dunn. Thank you.